So it's officially been 1 month since I got my Sisterlocks installed, and I'm gonna tell you all about the different changes and what I've noticed about my hair since then. It is Thursday, March 23rd. I got my Sisterlocks installed, finished installing them on February 20th. Monday was one full, of course someone will be calling me right as I start recording. And Monday that just passed, March 20th, was my 1 month Locaversary. 1 full month with these Sisterlocks, 1 month and a couple of days from at the time of recording this. I remember when I was doing my research, I remember having to really search for certain things, like how many locks they had, how much hair they started with when they locked, like all these little things, what their hair type was, all that stuff. Just in case you did not watch any of my previous videos, I want to make sure that in every video I at least give those stats so you don't have to go hunting for them. Oh my gosh, guys, like, if you see anything falling on my shirt, sorry, listen. Tomorrow is wash day. It'll be the second time I'm washing my hair, and so if you see anything, fuzz, lint, dust, and all the above and everything in between, that's just what it is. Let's start with the front of my hair. Please don't mind my dirty-ish scalp, because like I said, tomorrow is wash day. This is what the front looks like a month in. It's my hair is definitely growing out, as you can see right there. Hope you can see that right there. Like all of this basically. But I noticed too that in different parts of my hair is growing faster than in others. So the front is not growing as fast. The sides, like this is what it looks like. Like that. All my parts are still there. Not that I expected them to be gone. They're just outgrown, so you can't see them as well. Is the intention of the video. So there's that. This lock is holding on. It's growing out, but it's holding on. I did lose a couple during my first wash day, more so on this side, so I'll show you that. There we go. Like that. I realized that in some of my last videos, I feel like I was going too fast when I was showing you my hair, so I want to make sure I slow down a bit and really pause so you can see how it's looking. I wear my hair to one side more often. No, like all the time. Just all the time. I'm gonna turn around. Bear with me. Bear with me. This one's pretty much like pretty gone. We tried. So at the ends. Show you better close-up of the ends afterwards. I'll also maybe insert some pictures or video of when I finished installing them a week later, 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, just so you can see how they've been progressing. Okay, let's get into, so as I've told you guys before, my hair type is between 4A, 4B. It's looser in the front. It's always been, regardless of the color. Like even before I had the color, my hair in the front was always a little bit looser. So this is a 3-week-old braid out. As you can still see, still crinkly, especially like up at like close to the base and stuff. As you get further down into the ends, not as much, but still, yeah, they curl up and they do their thing. My curls in the back of my head are tighter, as you can see. Tighter curls, especially back here. Much tighter curls back here. And as you come closer to the front, they loosen up a little more. But yeah, there they are. Some of them are super curly. Come on, focus, yay, focus. There we go. It's trying, there it is. They're rough, I can tell you that. They're rough on the end. Then at the front, they kind of flat, like wave a little bit. They're more wavy versus curly. So like here's a good example of one. Like they start doing that. And where my loose natural like hair is still, you know, loose natural, it just feels rougher. I'm trying to give you guys some of them are still like this, which I'm not expecting my hair to lock up. Remember, I told you guys I did my own DIY starter locks back in 2013. Started with braids, and yeah, I had those in for a year and like maybe 3 months, 4 months, and they weren't locked. Nothing locked, and I was interlocking them to maintain them. So a lot of them look like this. They just coil up and they just feel more like matted. I wouldn't say rough. Yeah, that's not the word. Not rough. They feel matted on the ends. In the beginning, my scalp was itching like crazy when they first got installed. So the first 2 weeks, I was lightly misting my hair, like the fine mist bottles, and mostly the scalp just to relieve it. It was a mess. I don't know if that's gonna happen again when I retie. I think it's going to, because I think with me, my head, the way it works, it's just whenever I get like fresh braids, fresh twists, fresh anything with the scalp, like it just does this thing where it itches for a little bit, and then within the first time water gets on, like really gets on it, a couple of weeks or whatever, a week or two, it's fine after that. Okay, I want to show you some things because the thing about my hair is that it was really damaged when I got my Sisterlocks installed. Because of the color. I told you guys in a previous video, I've been going through a lot. The like 6 months leading up to me getting my Sisterlocks installed, I really wasn't taking care of my hair the way I should. The second to last time that I went to the person who does my color and washes my hair more often than not, my hair was, you know, it was okay. Like there was some breakage, but nothing crazy. But when I went back to her in December to get my trim and deep treatment and all that stuff, she was like, what is happening? It was so bad, especially up here in the crown. Like, see how short this one is? Like, that's it compared to, like, okay, those ones are short. Like, I wish, like And yes, my hair was layered before I started, and then when my loctician finished, she shaped my hair a little bit more. I expect there to be shorter pieces, longer pieces, or whatever, but I will be 100% honest and transparent with you guys. My hair was breaking because I wasn't taking care of it. And when you have color in your hair and you're not taking care of your hair, you're more susceptible to breakage, dryness, all these different things. So if you're gonna do color, you have to take care of it, right? I knew this, I was doing fine leading up to it, but I might even insert a picture of like when I first got my color, of just how long and full my hair still was. I love the color, I wanna continue doing it, but obviously right now I have to just leave it as is until my hair fully locks, and we'll kind of go from there. When she installed them, her technique, she would take the pieces of hair, right? And then she'd do like a back comb thing. Because my ends were so just like mangled, it was hard for her to start closer to the end for my Sisterlocks. So if some of you are wondering why I have so much hair out, it wasn't me intentionally telling her to do that, she just didn't have a choice. She started the locking process as far down as she could, but the hair was just so uneven, she couldn't get in there and properly lock it. So she had to do a back comb kind of thing to create some, I guess like friction or something, so then she could start with the interlocking process. On some of them, I'm gonna show you one, there's like a little, almost like a knot at the end. Now, all of them, like pretty much, I have 705 locks and all of them had these little, like what looked like little knots right here. Very small, no big deal. By the naked eye, you wouldn't even know that they were like little knots on the end of my locks. But that happened because as she was back combing and then doing her thing, it would like knot up, which she had two reasons for doing that. One, because she had to work with my hair. And two, because of the fineness of my hair, the looseness of my hair, and just the damage that was on the hair. There's another one right there. These aren't, they look like buds, and I guess now you could start to call them buds, but this is not what they were. They were knots. They were actual knots, and it's not because she created a knot. It just happened that way with the back combing and then everything. So, needless to say, they were there. Some of them, as you can see, much smaller. Like this one you can barely tell. It's like teeny tiny. When I first left the studio, her studio, and came home, my ends were very frizzy, and I know how my hair works. She was saying, you know, once you spritz it with some, like, no, she sprayed it down, and then she said, once it dries, it'll curl up, but I know my hair. If my hair isn't detangled, it will not curl up like that. You could wet it and wet it and wet it. It will just frizz and do this weird matted thing. So I knew I needed to comb them out. So I went in, like literally each individual lock had, I want to show you like a really good one. Here's another one. See that knot right there? So that was, some of them were really big and then all frizzy on the end. It wasn't curly, it was just frizz. Almost like when you blow out your hair and you just frizz it up. So I went in individually, my little rat tail comb, and I sprayed it, and then I just basically detangled the ends. She was very clear to me. She said, don't comb out the knots because she's afraid that when I do my first wash, a lot of them will slip. So what I did is I didn't comb out the knot completely. I just combed it out to the point where it wasn't too thick, because I was worried that as small as my locks are, I didn't want them to be like really, really slim at one point, and then as they start to mature, like there's just one section that's super thick compared to the rest of it. So I was trying to, I was doing some preventative stuff. Give me a second, let me find this one, because there's one in particular I can show you guys, so you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Because I've been thinking of going back and combing that one out a little bit more. I found two. All right, so these two I've been considering going back and combing them out further. You see the knot right here and right here? These were much bigger, and this was just all frizz, right? As it was trying to curl up after she sprayed it down. But like I told you, I know my hair, it's not gonna do that without some detangling. So I went in and I combed this out to the point where I left it like this, but I still was thinking about going in and combing this out a little further, because look at the size of this compared to this. And we know with Sisterlocks, they say that they can mature. When they mature, they could be up to 100 times the size of as they were originally when you got them installed. So I don't want this issue of like having like really fine here, and then the ends are already really thick, and then they end up being super thick compared to the rest of the hair. Now granted, as it grows out, and as you can tell, my hair curls up and whatever, it's probably not going to be that noticeable to most people. And there's so much hair on my head, most people probably aren't even going to notice, but I'm going to notice. So when I tell you these knots were big, they weren't big in the sense of other people could tell, but they were big for me. So even this one I reduced to like nothing. I reduced this one to basically what you see there, that little spot right here. But it was bigger. Some of them you can't even tell, you don't even see them at all. I barely feel them. Like this one I don't feel, but it's right here, I can tell. This one, it's right here. This one didn't have one at all. So most of my locks are not like this, where she was able to catch enough hair to interlock it and then just end with a nice little curl on the end. Most of them weren't like that. The damage was, it was pretty significant, so why some of them are much shorter than others. I started with between like, despite like the really small pieces, I'm not going to count those in the length. The shortest pieces were 9 inches, the longest pieces were 12 inches, averaged about 10.5 inches most of my hair. It just depends, because again, my hair was layered when I started. My install took 31 hours over the course of really, I'll say 3 days, but really it was 2. I started Saturday, February 18th. We went from like 12:15 to 11:15 p.m. And then the next day I came back at 7. We started at 7:15 a.m. and ended, we just went straight through. That was Sunday. We went straight through until Monday at 3:15 a.m. It's been officially 1 month and I still love them. The one big thing that I've noticed is just they are thickening up, but more so at the root. The ones in this section at the back here are growing much faster. Like the amount, I wish I could, maybe you guys will get to see it, I don't know. Like, look at that. That's a lot. Did you see that? I hope you saw that. I'll take pictures anyways and probably insert them, who knows. But yeah, the growth back here is definitely more. It's thicker at the back of my hair than the front and the middle anyways. So I expected that. They feel great. I haven't had any issues with them. Little things that I do, I shake my locks like just to prevent the whole lint buildup. I know it's not it's not a surefire thing that it'll prevent all the lint, but from the research I've done, doing that regularly helps. Yes, I have hand and hair syndrome. I've always had hand and hair syndrome. I love the locks. I'm excited for how they're growing and flourishing and all of that stuff. I washed them once. You can check out my first wash day video, braid out, all that stuff, and it's just so easy. I wear a silk satin bonnet. I have silk pillowcase as well, but I wear the bonnet, so the bonnet also helps to keep this shape at nighttime. So when I take it off, I literally just shake my hair and I'm ready to go. So yeah, that's it. More videos to come, guys. Ask me any questions, leave them in the comments below. I'll answer them, and if I have to make a separate video to answer some of those questions, I am happy to do so. Thank you so much for watching. Check out some of these other videos, and don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss when my next upload goes up. Bye.